Handicapper Steve, horse racing kid here, handicapping the racing from San Anita Park here on Friday, October the 31st, 2014. It is Breeders' Cup Day 1 of the 2014 championship. An excellent 2 days of racing. I think this is one of the best Breeders' Cup I've ever seen. That might be a very bold statement. Very excellent card for this Friday racing. They are running 4 races for the Breeders' Cup. They're running the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, the Dirt Mile, and the Distaff. So I'm going to handicap all those 4 races. But before getting onto those races, I'm going to look at race number 4, actually, which is not a Breeders' Cup race, but it's a race I love handicapping. It's the 3rd running of the Twilight Derby, Grade 2, purse $200,000, formerly known as the Oak Tree Derby. We have it's for 3-year-olds. All Breeders' Course Breeders' Cup pre-entered horses will automatically be nominated for this race. Going a mile and an eighth here on the turf course. We do have a field of 12 horses, and like I said, I really love this race. Going 1 mile and an eighth on the turf, field 12. I'm going to go with the 4:11 exacta box here. Number 4 is Divine Oath, 9-2, Javier Castellano. Last time out, did run at Delaware Park, a mile and an eighth on September the 20th in the Kent Handicap Grade 3 event that day. Finished first that day, won that day by 3/4 of a length, was the heavy favorite. He had a rail trip and had good energy that day. Then on the Secretariat Stakes at Arlington Park, mile and a quarter on August the 16th, finished 6th by 6 3/4 lengths. He settled and just had no threat that day. Just throw that race out. And then the American Derby, Arlington Park, mile 3:16, July 12th. Won by half length that day. He rated on the inside and split inside to the 8th pole. Really like that run there. So I'm going to go with this one at 9-2. And I'm also going to go with the 11 horse here. Number 11. Let's get down to the page. Number 11, Ring Weekend at 3-1. John Velasquez, Grand Motion trains. Last time out, drawn Belmont Park, August the 4th, in the Hill Print Stakes on a soft going, a mile and an eighth. Won by half length that day. He slipped at the 2 passes out and had a late bump that day. That was a very, very, very soft turf course. I think it rained for the whole week. Before that race, here on the East Coast, we had a lot of rain this fall. But in California, it hasn't rained since like March. So this turf course can be wicked fast, as people from Boston would say. Then at Saratoga, mile and an eighth in September the 1st in the Saranac Stakes, won by 2 3/4 lengths. Again, heavy favorite. He lugged in at the 3/16 pole, was asked at the 8th pole, and won away clear that day. Really like this horse here. This horse actually did run the Preakness earlier this year, finished 5th that day. It was bumped and just steadied all throughout. This horse will love the turf course. So going with this one. So cap my bets, race number 4 from San Anita Park. Gonna go with a 4:11 in the Twilight Derby. Now let's get on to the big races. Gonna start off with race number 6 from San Anita. First Breeders' Cup race 2014. It's the 8th edition of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Grade 1, $1 million to go for colts and geldings, 2-year-olds. Field of 16. We do have an also eligible here of the 15 and 16. They will only run if one of the horses scratches by 8 a.m. Friday. Going 1 mile here on the turf course. A very nice race. 1 mile. Field of 16, 14 can run, and I'm going to go with the 4-5 here. I have to say again, a very hard race to handicap. Number 4, Commemorative, 8-1, James Doyle. Last time out, did run at Newmarket on October the 11th. 1 mile in the Betfred Goals Galore Autumn Stakes. Won by length that day. He led early, had a clear over furlong out, and drifted in to his left that day, and just was driven in command that day. Very nice run. Then at Doncaster on September the 11th, 1 mile in the DFS British Stallion Stud Stakes. Won by length. He was close up and to the lead over furlong out. Was driven out that day. Won his last 2. I think this horse will love the course. Going with this one, and I think this horse will be on Lasix also. A lot of European horses, in Europe, they're not allowed to take Lasix. The Lasix in America, they're allowed to take, so I think this horse will really like it. I'm also going to go with the 5 horse here, Hootenanny, 3-1. Frankie Dettori riding for Wesley Ward. A lot of people hate this horse. Oh, well, somebody I talked to hates this horse. Doesn't think it can handle the distance. I really think it can. 3-1 at a quality road. Last time out, the run in France on August 24th at Deauville, and the Darley Prix Mornay Stakes, 6 furlongs on turf. Finished second by half length. He was up close to the lead, 2 furlongs out. He joined a furlong out and edged right and just kept on headed that day. I really like that race, actually. Then at Royal Ascot, June 17th in Windsor Castle Stakes, won by 3.5 lengths. He was straight to the lead and just ran a good runaway race that day. And then the Royal Licking Stakes, Pimlico, 5 furlongs on the main track on May the 16th, finished third by 7.25 lengths. Just throw that race out. I really don't think he handled the course that day. Will like this turf course, I'm sure of it. 3-1. The biggest question, can he handle the distance? I really think he can. At a quality road. Didn't run on turf, but did run on the main track at long distances. I think he won mile 8th race. Can't think of it. Big race down at Gulfstream. House Hope, maybe? Something like that. Let's go with this one. So, cap my bets, race number 6 from Anita. It's the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Gonna go with the 4-5. Now let's get on to race number 7. The 7th race from Anita is the 8th running of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Grade 1, purse $1 million. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 9 horses now with the scratch of Handsome Mike. 1 mile. And this one of those races, it's a very... I think this might be one of the easiest races for me to handicap on this card. Gonna go with the 3-4 here. I throw out Golden Sense. I'm not a big fan of this horse. Like his Cigar Mile run, I know why he finished 7th last year. He did have a very bad break that day. Had a very terrible trip. I just not a really big fan of this horse. But I'm gonna go with the 3-4. Number 3. It is Vickers in Trouble. 12-1. John Velasquez getting the mount for the first time on this horse. Last time out, throwing at Indiana Grand Downs on October the 4th in the Indiana Derby. Finished second by a length that day. He was on the pace on the inside and just weakened that day. Then at Louisiana Downs, mile 8th, September 6th in Super Derby, won by 7.25 lengths. He pulled away handily, and that race, that was probably one of this horse's best race. Actually, is this horse's best race. There was not a lot of competition of class that day, so I think he just won easily. And then a Mountaineer, mile 8th in West Virginia Derby on August the 2nd, finished third by 2 lengths. He hooked on the inside, just weakened that day. And then at Prairie Meadows, a mile 16th on the slot, June 28th in Iowa Derby, finished third by 3 lengths. He had a 3-wide trip and just stayed on that day. Watch out for this horse. Could be a big upsetter at 12-1. Workout October the 18th, Churchill Downs, 5-furlong workout, 1 minute and 3. That was the best workout, 21 that day. So going with this one, I'm also going to go with the 4 horse here, Pants on Fire, 6-1. Kelly Breen trains this one at 6-1. Paco Lopez. I'm just in love with this horse, I must say. Had this horse last year. Had a horrible trip in this race last year. Did break from post position number 10. Was outside, 4 wide, angled in, and just faded that day. Horrible trip. But this horse did run last time out Charlestown, 7 furlongs on September 20th in the Wild and Wonderful Stakes. By 2.25 lengths. He was up 3 wide at the 8th pole and had a hand ride. Easy winner that day. Then at Belmont, 1 mile in the Left Bank Stakes on September the 5th. Finished second by neck. He had a 2-pass bid at the quarter poles very willingly that day. And then this horse did actually run in Japan last year in Japan Cup Dirt. Finished 16th by 14.25 lengths. This horse was 3 wide into the turn, 4 wide into the second turn, and just never had a threat that day. So going to go with this one. Really, really like this horse. Been training very well also at down in Monmouth. 4-furlong workout, 46 flat, the best out 22. Good post position. Watch out for this horse being upset. It's going to be my top pick here. So recap my bets for race number 7 from Anita, the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. I'm going to go with the 3-4. Now let's get on to race number 8 from Anita. What is the 7th running of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf? Grade 1, purse $1 million. We do have a field of 16 horses traveling 1 mile. 15 and 16 are also eligibles. They will draw in if one of the horses scratch. Fields of 16. This one was the toughest race, I think, to handicap on the whole card. Gonna go with the 3-6 here. Number 3, Sunset Glow. 7-2, Victor Espinosa, Wesley Ward trains. Last time out, during Del Mar 7 furlongs on August the 30th in the Del Mar debutante. Won by neck that day. He waited on the turn, had a bid, and was between horses, very gamely that day. And then in the Sorrento Stakes at Del Mar 6.5 on August 6th, won by 2 3/4 lengths that day. He had a bit off the rail and just cleared that day. 90 Buyer Speed figure, best of this horse's career that day. And then Wesley Ward took this horse to Royal Ascot in the Albany Stakes. Finished second by 2 lengths. He was early to lead, joined the upper furlong out, and just dropped the whip that day. Victor Espinosa dropped the whip, and just had no match for the winner that day. Really like this horse. I remember this horse's first career win at Belmont, June the 6th, 5 furlongs on the Belmont Stakes undercard. Won by 2 lengths, 5 furlongs on turf. He was 2 past, had a light hand ride. I really like that start. Gonna go with this one, 7-2 here. I know Wesley Ward had the option of running this horse either here or in Juvenile Fillies. Chose to run it here. So going with this one. I'm also gonna go with the 6 horse. Number 6, Silvalier. I think I said that right. At 12-1. Gary Stevens coming back after a knee replacement. Chad Brown trains. First start in America for this horse. Out to see the stars. Last time out there on Deville, August 23rd, 7 furlongs in the Longines Prix de Cavaux Stakes. I'm sorry, my French is absolutely terrible. Finished third by 1 3/4 lengths. He held last in gain and the switch to the rail 2 furlongs out and ran on good that day. And then in France, 6 furlongs on August the 6th at a race course I'm not even going to start to pronounce because it would just come out horrible. And a stake race I'm not even going to... And the Centrum de Beaucoup Ventes Usfra Stakes. Won by 3.5 lengths that day. Had an easy winner that day. So, I'm going to go with this one. Working out, this horse has been working out at Belmont. 4 furlong workout on the turf, 49-4. The 7th best out 20. And a 5 furlong workout, 103-3. 13th best out of 18. So, going with this one. So, recap my bets for race number 8 from the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf from San Anita. I'm going to go with the 3-6 exacta as the 3 is my top pick. Now, let's get on to race number 9 from San Anita. The 9th race from San Anita is the 31st running of the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff. Going mile 8th here, grade 1 event for $2 million. It is for fillies, mares, reels, and upwards. Mile 8th here. We do have a field of 11 and another very tough race to handicap. And I'm actually going to do Superfecta here, or 4-horse exact box for $1. It's going to cost $12 here, of the 7, 9, 10, 11. Number 7. Get down to the page. Don't Tell Sevilla. 5-1 Joe Rocco Jr. Last time out, running Spinster Stakes at Keeneland, a mile 8th on October the 5th. Won that day by 2.5 lengths. Circles 5 wide and drifted in that day. 94 Buyer Speed figure that day. A very nice race. Then Churchill mile 16th in the Lost Grave Stakes on September the 6th. Won by 2.5 lengths. He had a sweeping move and just cleared that day. I really like this horse here. First start at San Anita. Then at Oaklawn Park on a wet fast going mile 16th in the Zari Stakes Grade 2 event. Finished third by 1 3/4 lengths. He was 4 wide moving, just drifted and just hung that day. This horse is a very incredible horse. Joe Rocco Jr. knows how to run this horse. Won 3 times with this horse out of 4 starts. The worst finish this horse had was the 2nd in the Fall City Stakes last year at at Churchill. Gonna go with this one. I'm also gonna go with the 9 horse, Ria Antonia. 15-1, Paco Lopez. I was going to actually have this horse. Not a big fan of this horse, but this horse has been working out very well lately, and that Spinster second place finish was a very good run. That was at Keeneland, October 5th, mile 8th in the Spinster Stakes. He was second by 2.5 lengths behind Don't Tell Sevilla. He cleared steady at the 8th pole, and just had a very nice second place finish. At Churchill Downs, mile 16th, September the 6th, in the Lost Grave Stakes. Finished 4th that day. Again, Don't Tell Sophia finished first that day. He was off slow and was in tight at the 3/16 pole. And then ran at Monmouth this summer in the Monmouth Oaks. Finished 4th by 5.25 lengths. Just a heavy favorite that day. He shuffled on the inside and just had a mild gain that day. And then they thought about running this horse in Preakness. horrible idea. Finished 10th by 31 lengths. Not this horse's best run. This horse has only ran under the finish line first once, and if you think about it, actually this horse won twice. One of those starts was in last year's Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies over this course. The horse who won, She's a Tiger, got disqualified, so this horse moved up to first. That race, this horse was 3 to 4 wide, brushed in. I was just denied that day, but there was bumping, so that's one of those races. I had She's a Tiger last year, and it was like a very, very not a nice thing to get that horse disqualified. But this horse was flying at the end, so watch out for this one. This horse didn't like the course last year, so going with this one. I'm also going to go with the 10 horse Untappable at 5 to 2, Rosie Napravnik. Last time out there on the Coughlin Stakes at Parks Racing. On September 20th, won by length that day. He drifted in and out and just cleared that day. And then the Haskell at Monmouth, a mile and eighth on July 27th, finished 5th by 9 lengths. He bumped in the stretch and was just 3 wide. Though that race out was against the boys, I don't think this horse could really do that against the boys. And then Belmont mile 16th in the Mother Goose Stakes on June the 28th, won by 9 1/4 lengths. This horse bothered and checked at 3 wide and still went away easily. That was this horse's best one of his career. Got a 96 Beyer speed figure. His best Beyer came from the Kentucky Oaks, or her best Beyer, I must say. Won that day in the Kentucky Oaks by 4.5 lengths. He took over 4 wide and cleared. So going with this one, 5 to 2. Another horse hard to beat. And I'm also going to go with the 11 Close Hatches, 3 to 1 Joel Rosario to complete my 4 horse exacta box. Last time out there on Keeneland Mile and 8th on October the 5th in the Spencer Stakes. Finished 4th by 7 1/4 lengths. He had the speed and was off the rail, just flatter that day. And then the Personal Ensign Stakes at Saratoga Mile and 8th on the mud, August 22nd. Won by 5 lengths. He was off the rail and eased up late that day. Not his best. That was actually the horse's best run. Excuse me, I was looking at the wrong running line for a second. Did do very well in the Personal Ensign. And then the Ogden Phillips at Belmont Mile 16th, June the 7th. Won by head. Was 3 wide, had a bit 5/16 full, was the Asta 3/16 full. Like this horse here. This horse actually finished second behind Beholder last year in this race. In the Breeders' Cup this day of last year. This horse is ridden 3 wide at the 3/8 pole and was very woolly that day. So watch out for this horse. Going to go with this one, 3 to 1 as an upset as my top pick here. So recap my bets for the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Going to go with the 7, 9, 10, 11 exacta box for $1. It's going to cost $12. And I'm also going to go with the 11 as my top pick. And that's good luck to all on day 1 from the Breeders' Cup Championships.